Welcome to the Snodcast. I'm your host, Pomod, and this is something I've been meaning to do as an idea. Something I wanted to try out, the old wars style, in the vein of Eggy and Sam Hyde. Ultimately, not in the vein of Alex Jones. I'm not planning to go that hard, though we might. Just a different sort of idea to kind of like have down in one place some of the stuff I go into on my streams. And not everybody, can catch every stream or every second of every stream to see what flows out of my brain. So this might be a good avenue for that. But I think I have a couple of topics just to start off on, just some starting points. And I wanted to start off on art and stagnation, or what could be judged as stagnation. I'm gonna be pulling from my my bag of pomodisms, astrology and such. I know astrology, it's like that thing, but for women. What is it? How'd the meme go? I forgot. The guy who made that tweet is a fed, so I tend to not keep anything he talked about in my brain. But anyways, yeah, I understand the perception of astrology, and I don't think of astrology as something that's true. A lot of people who are astrologers do, but for me, it's just this interesting thing that kind of like encapsulates various aspects of life, and it's almost mystic. It's almost religious. I don't follow it like a religion, but it's just religious in like a Taoistic or synchronistic, almost magical kind of way. Poetic meets your life meets synchronicity. I like it because I see a lot of parallels with how things are as I perceive them, like notions pre-astrology line up with astrology, like things that are true, not relying on astrology, are true in astrology, and stuff like that kind of like keeps me coming back. I guess I could explain how I got into it. As a kid, I would just look up my own sign, which is Scorpio. Just to read what it would say about this and that, because I would see in magazines like the zodiac, the horoscopes, and it would be the signs and the images. And I guess I was just attracted to those mainly. I was just confused as to what even is this? Like finding out later, it's like, okay, listen, planets, positions, constellations. And it all started off just in wanting to know my shit. Like my position of the sun, for my birth date. Going on to learning my birth time. And thus, like my ascendant, the ascendant being the horizon point from when you're born. there's a certain snapshot of the sky when you're born, with constellations, position of the moon, Mercury, this and that. Which, even if you don't care about astrology, that is kind of cool. It would be neat for something like that to be issued out upon birth, like as an image. Even for those who don't believe in astrology, it is kind of a cool thing. But I say it's poetic because it's of course the naming and the associations of the planets do align with the myths and archetypes and stories from civilizations past and civilizations still relevant. You do get something that makes sense, strangely. And could you then say that the world is magical? Yeah, I guess. In a more mundane way, magical in a mundane way, as paradoxical as that might be. That's even more true. Anyways, art in the stagnation of music. Since 2013, Neptune, which I'll pull up this little thing I had prepared here. Going to what Neptune means. So it's not just a definition that is coming from me, it's something that's agreed upon. Neptune's cycle is 165 years, and it spans around 13 years in each sign. Neptune concerns awareness and consciousness, mass consciousness. Not personal consciousness, that would be a different planet. Mostly the sun, you could say. With an inner consciousness being the moon. Anyways. Like mass consciousness being something related to Neptune, yes. Anyways. Sorry. How people experience and see life in their time and context. I guess. In his movement, it seeks to create contextual shifts and changes in value and attitude, yes, in relation to the succession of themes in the zodiac, it being the last sign. At times it brings reality flips or the derailment and subsidence of safe knowns, or it opens the curtains on new scenarios and possibilities. It concerns visions and illusions in every age group, what guides and inspires them, yes, and what they are blind to, yes, what they misconstrue. It dissolves the past and the normal, sending them into a slow skid and evaporation, which creeps up from behind, yes. This will be relevant later. Yet it brings the visionary dreams which draw us forward, challenging us to manifest them. It can bring chaos, confusion, and unknowing, slippage, gridlock, and backlogs. Yet it can unblock calcified or sclerotic energy channels, eroding obstacles, overflowing, and circumventing barriers. It can bring directionlessness. What the fuck? Well, I guess if you're suffering from being directionlessness, that's a fucked up word. Offering people a choice of how to see things. It speaks through poetry, music, religion, elucidating our relationship with the unfathomable. Yes. Neptune renders the old obsolete, clears the way, and creates open space for new developments. If blocked, these energies go stagnant and rot. Social energies become depleted and hopeless. Yet, this inevitably leads to new stirrings, starting from an utterly new perspective.
Yes.
So Neptune being one of the outer planets, it has a less of a personal meaning when in a certain sign, as it goes through its 12 sign cycle. So you could apply it to society or the peoples, and it's with its tying into music, poetry, and its relation to art, I guess would be like the muse, or the inspiration that of course can be more personal, but typically if you're of a certain time, it is widespread, especially in the artists of a certain time. Of course, it comes from material similarities, media similarities. That's something it also relates to, in terms of with media being Uranus, which is an 84 year cycle, and also slow moving, as to tie it to society and changes, radical changes, revolutions, inventions, geniuses, and its relation to art, of course, being like truly new stuff. Truly chic stuff. Having a late night coffee, a little bit of bourbon in there. The weed store was closed on Thanksgiving, understandably. So I got some bourbon, and I tried some with the coffee. It's all right. If it's too much bourbon, it's not good. It's not a combo that you could like really spike, but I don't know if I taste the bourbon so much as I taste the alcohol. I'm not a connoisseur of alcohol. I just like to feel funny, and I like to not feel like my thyroid being fucked up, which I tend to with beers and seltzers. As tasty as they are, I do like a seltzer or a nice tea or a High Life. Like it fucks me up right here. Could be all the glyphosate, could be who knows what. But a more pure glass type serving alcohol is I find the effects aren't as hard. And of course, this is bourbon. Typically with alcohol, with liquor, I'll go vodka and Red Bull. I'm not trying to go there. Vodka, I think, is a dog shit. It's more of a necessary alcohol thing when you just want alcohol. If I kind of want to look into the world of like good, like top alcohol, brandies, bourbons. Whiskeys. Anyways, back to the astrology and art. I'll get to the point. Like for the last 10 years or so, we're not done with the cycle yet. In 2013, Neptune moved into its home sign of Pisces, which a whole lot of things coincided during this time. Vaporwave, like a general 80s revival and synth pop, not just in the indie sphere, but also in the leaking into the pop sphere, or from the indie sphere to the pop sphere, like with the Weekend. Maybe like a general jump in dream pop or shoegazy sounds. And Pisces, being the home sign of Neptune, is associated with the, I guess, the muse, inspiration. And the thing about inspiration, it does, we do talk about it, it's like, oh, inspiration. It is good to be inspired, but it is something that if it isn't balanced out with the, like, I guess, in the astrological sense, with like consciousness, like a will, something grounding that is detailing it and judgmental. When it doesn't have that, it just becomes very general, very vague, just poppy, washed out. These were all metaphorical things that I'm lumping at, but like imagine like pop, how you would pop, like the worst of the pop type images that come to mind, like bland, like even if the sounds are varied, it's more like the sounds are being pulled as like, oh, I listen to that music, so I'm using that music. I listen to this music, so I'm putting it in my music. I like this style, so I'm putting it on my style. Not so much like a conscious processing of it. Like it's just going from, like, imagine I'm the artist, like I'm witnessing the stuff I like, and it's more like going straight back to you, which is of course has made some good art in its time. But as the cycle closes out, we're seeing stagnation that comes from just people operating from their tastes, which you would think, in terms of things you find beautiful or things you love. It's like, hey, that would be the best way to operate on art, but I guess not. It does reach its limits where it's so distilled and unattached to something specific. Like let's say, what would that be? But just hearing a sound, any kind of sound nowadays, like from a new artist, it just feels like, yeah, like they're pulling from stuff like, oh, I gotta sound like this to make money, or like, oh, this is the stuff I dig. This sound from 2015, I dig, so I just want to do that. And I like anime, and I like Monster. I like the Vans, let me put that into my aesthetic. Pisces being the sign of, drug addicts and I guess delusions. Another kind of art or appreciation of art connection to Pisces would be how Venus, that aspect of our psyche, the appreciative, aesthetic inclination of our psyche, Venus in that sign of Neptune is in its highest position. So people are really being inspired from, I guess any kind of art, which in the current age, is very accessible to everybody. Everything is to everybody. Cartoons, like the kid, like everybody knows Smiling Friends, those Newgrounds cartoons. And it's just something is kind of hard to put into words, which is another Neptunian Neptunian kino, a Neptunian idea, another Jupiterian Pisces idea, where it's opposed to Mercury, which is the faculty, of language, precise thought. These things are opposed to that, literally, like 180 degrees, but also making them sisters. So you could bring these two together to kind of understand each other when you bring the extremes together. But what's I saying? Yeah, Jupiter. Yeah, all these. It's kind of hard to. Yeah, its very nature is that it's hard to put into words, and here I am trying to talk about them. That's how these things are. Religion, spirituality, appreciation of music, this and that. Inspiration, drug addiction, chaos, confusion. Not understanding something, but not that Pisces is like a dumb sign. Like it's just like that faculty, the mercurial faculty of thinking, which is the details, the being precise and not being a blubbering idiot part of it, and the higher part which is the more, I guess, divine part, the stuff that comes from divinity. Which is weird and hard to talk about. And there's not, let's say, maybe there is in the music, spirituality. But if you were to say, drug addiction, this and that, there is a fair amount of proud drug addiction, in certain kinds of modern rap. Maybe if it is ironic or not. And that's something also associated with Jupiter and Neptune. Pisces, irony. Maybe in that sense, comedy. I don't think there's one sign that is hold of comedy. But there's definitely something about like the play of concepts and of being not straightforward that can allow you to understand things in a different way, and that is Neptune. All these things that pop out, not just in music, but this is where I'm talking about it from. And yeah, I was saying, like, it being a societal planet, there's a lot of people with similar tastes, even if in your life you feel you're the only one that likes this and that. Like, when you go online, you're introduced to everybody, like the society. You find that it's pretty common. There's a lot of people liking what you like. And that also extends to, hey, stop it. Stop it. My dog scratching. There's something about that extends to those people starting to make, or those people entering art, where they feel like, well, they are like the only person in their life that is into that thing, to that extent, and not really having an exposure to other artists to get to a point of differentiating yourself from them, or maybe not even wanting to. I don't know if I could judge the modern artist as wanting to do music just because it's from it's like part of my image, I'm a musician, look at me. But other people are saying that that's what music has come to. It's just we have influencers who do music, and that does kind of make sense. It's in terms of people not having something that's for their own musically that goes along with the social media part. Of course, in the modern age, you have to make use of that, or you can if you want to, if you're an artist. But where it's at, it seems people are saying that there's a large focus on just having music. So it's like whatever, you know, just like, oh, I like reached the watermark on my music. Like, it's indie, here's some bedroom pop. I'm now a musician, and here's my social media presence, which I'm putting way more effort into. Maybe that's something of Neptune, or not. Either way, it's true. He's using astrology as a bounce-off point to that. Maybe I could tie Uranus into this because, let's say, I would tie the stagnation point to COVID. Strangely enough, 26 minutes, not bad. I don't know if I'll do an hour-long video here, but something like that. Might wrap it up here soon. I would point to COVID because it seems the styles I was seeing, because I was heavily browsing Instagram, and I was getting just more like internet hyper culture art. It's different stylings, like super maximalism with anime to minimalist, squiggly scraggly anime. And even looking back now, like understanding where certain stuff of that era came out, which was in the COVID era, say with hyperpop and such, that there hasn't been much stuff that's new. And even if there is, trying to look into some of these COVID micro genres and their documentaries on YouTube, you'll just see the comments just coming in like, well, that was a badly timed video, badly aged. Because the micro genre is dead. People moved on, apparently. I wouldn't know. I'm not super plugged into that stuff like Hex D. I don't know. Super online, like kind of genres where it's like, whoa, it's hyperpop and breakbeat and sped up and such. People like who know of it in the comments saying like, well, that didn't last long. And that's maybe one of the newest kind of things you could say of the era. Like those kind of stylings like Hex D and the like super online maximalist styles, which can be cool. But it's what has there been there since then? And those stylings themselves being like a peak for the cloud rap kind of thing, vapor rap, post rap. It's not like it came out of nowhere, of course. Kind of like stylings that go back to Young Lean. Oof. But yeah, that's been since 2013. The next sign is supposed to be 2026. So it's near. Or possibly next year. Will that be an immediate change? No, of course not, because you know, it being a new territory of influence on an entire swath of people is going to be felt indirectly. But yeah, that's something that goes through my mind when I think about, you know, like why is music stagnant? Why are people saying it's stagnant? It's not just me. Like other people are saying, like, oh, what has happened to music? Not just as a clickbaity thing. I think it's a real thing people are noticing. People in comments. They're not wrong. And its very nature is something that's hard to communicate, because of course if somebody said that, your like inclination would be like, well what exactly? Like what? Like, I don't know. It's, you just feel it. It's something felt that's beyond words. Sadly. But it's there, it's true. And it's not something specific like, oh, it's all bedroom pop now, or like, oh, it's all recorded on a laptop now, or it's all some strain of indie, like jingly jangly, like unserious indie, like la 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 la, ooh la la la, indie. Though it could be something of that sort. It's something more than that. And it's not something inherent to those things, you know, it's just been, it's the end of the cycle, it's been long enough. Everything has its time of the sun, and then it spoils. People are noticing spoil. And maybe it's all across the board. Not something I could pin on any one genre either, because I always have that feeling that every genre is stagnant. Metal, punk, electronic music, underground music, supposedly underground music. That's just a very crummy bedroom pop. Different stylings. Like, whoa. It sounds bad. That's cool. And nothing objectively bad. Like, I don't think there's hardly anything that's objectively bad. Unless it's boring. But it's stuff that borders on boring. Just because, I don't know. I guess I could only say that because I've been around that. I guess it's been around me. Those kind of stylings. Modern versions of like Andrew Jackson Jihad. Kids of Andrew Jackson Jihad with Animal Collective or whatever have you, Vampire Weekend. And the other genres aren't safe either. In metal, I guess there's the ironic grind wave that's kind of going around, which is cool. There are some neat bits of art there, but grindcore is like 30 years old, and that kind of like extreme metal stylings, like they're going to be fucking really old. It's not just like old, ditch it. It's more like do your own thing. Do something new. It's whatever, you know. You don't have to. But it would be cool, wouldn't it? Yeah, you could do whatever you want. If you're an artist, you could do whatever you want. Like, I'm just gonna let it flow out of me. You could do that, but it's just gonna be like general. Very... It's like a general thing. Like nothing unique, hardly anything unique or individual about it. Unless you are that individual and unique. In which case it's a situation of balance. Então. But I think that's pretty much what I want to say about that. I didn't think it'd be a half an hour. I had some other things to talk about, but I could save that for another Snodcast. SNODWARS. I think it's a pretty good first episode. Alright, thank you all for chilling. You've been listening to James Ferraro, Last American Hero, and now, Virtual Erase. You know what? I think I like this this medium. It's different from a stream. When you stream, it's like being a host. I feel. At least that's the part of my brain that turns on when I'm streaming. And that is a fun part of it, you know, hanging out with other people as they come in, interacting with them. It's a lot more abstract, more of a dialogue. But with the audience, I guess it being more of a like a future audience. Whatever. I think the weed's getting to me. The weed and coffee and bourbon. All right. Peace. SNODWARS out.